Okay, I'm here in the main press centre with Matthew George. Matt, you've joined starting off as a school leaver straight from sixth form. How did you get into this role here?
Well, I heard about it through a teacher, sixth form, and she encouraged actually everyone to apply. And lucky enough, I was sort of selected via the application process for the first stages of interview, and then it sort of progressed from there really. So it's seems like a very long time ago now, but quite a long process of interviews, and lucky enough to get the role in the end.
Great. And what kind of thing have you been doing since you joined London 2012?
So I went straight into the accreditation department, which basically produces all the security passes for the games, which sounds a little boring, but there's a lot to the role. There's a lot of different things going on. It involves quite a lot of different skills. So it's a lot of sort of data collection and reviewing that data and communicating with different client groups and things like that. So it's quite varied, even though the role is quite specific, if that makes sense.
Great. And what's been the most exciting part of your job so far?
I think probably, it is exciting to come to a place like this where there's, the world's, especially for the Olympic Games and, the Paralympics as well, where the media attention across the whole world is focused on basically this park, and you're right at the centre of that operation. So you see, the broadcasters getting to work, you see the bigger broadcasters from America, the BBC, you see all the newspapers coming here to, write their stories. So that's really quite exciting to be right in the mix of that and being part of the operation that supports that. That's, you can't quite get that same buzz around the rest of the park. It's quite unique to this little corner, so it's really exciting.
That's great. And have you managed to see any of the events, or you've been too busy stuck behind a desk?
No, I have seen some. I've been lucky enough to get out and see some events. I had some tickets, lucky enough. So it's been nice to contrast the both, because you do long hours whilst you're working with the games, and it can get, some stages quite boring, some stages quite sort of intense. So it's nice to contrast that with some lucky tickets, I guess. So it's been really nice. I saw some basketball and some different events actually, so it's been great.
That's great. And what do you think you've taken away from the experience? Have you got skills and experience you think you can use in future jobs?
Definitely. I think it gives you a wide range of things. First of all, that you get used to the working world is something that, although school does a great job with it, you never quite prepare for until you're really working, out there and communicating with people who are in sort of every 9 to 5 everyday jobs. But things like email communication, where you have experience of that before, but actually in a business environment that's quite a lot different. You have to think about how you address different people, who you're talking to, how you write the emails. That's just one little thing, but then skills like meetings. You perhaps haven't really been to a meeting before when you come to through sixth form. It's a different sort of meetings, but here it's very much a business meeting. So you're looking at note taking and the recording of that meeting and how that's then processed and communicated to the rest of the staff. So it's those sorts of skills that actually you don't necessarily expect yourself to think about, which actually become really valuable at the end of it, looking back. So it's, and loads more besides that. It's you could spend ages trying to list them all. So it's been really good.
Great. And now there's only 3 days left of the Paralympics. I can't believe it. Are you looking on to what you're going to do next? What's your next plan?
So I'm going on to university next. So I am looking onto it. When you're working something like this, it's kind of quite hard to look forward sometimes, but it's great to have that there as well. I've got about a week and a bit off before I head off to university. So it's nice to have that focus to work towards something and know that you've got something else there ready for you to go on to. So, yeah.
Great. And what university is it, and what course will you be doing?
I'm going on to Bangor, and I'm studying a sports science, sport development degree. So there's a direct link with the Olympics, which is really handy, and it's something I've always been passionate about as well.
Great, so you'll be able to take lots of experience that you've learned here and take it on, and you'll be the SWAT in the class, yeah?
Possibly. We'll see how it goes. I guess it's kind of nerve-wracking going to something new, but hopefully it'll set me up quite nicely.
Great, and what about future Olympics? Would you look to doing jobs there, works there, or the Commonwealth Games?
Possibly. I've certainly looked at doing another Games. I guess the hard thing is, certainly for me, is language skills. I have to say, sitting in my French class and my German class, my teacher saying, it's really important, it's really valuable to have a language. You sometimes don't take that seriously until you actually get out in the world and realise that actually it's going to open up a lot more opportunities if you actually learn the language. So, going to Rio, for example, the Rio Olympics would be great, and I'd love to maybe look at that. But if not, there's things like the Pan American Games, which I think are in Canada next time round. So there's things like that as well, and I really would be interested in going on to experience maybe a different side of the games, different area, possibly.
That's great. So if you could go back to your sixth form now, give a talk to some students, give them some life advice, what would you say?
I'd say take every opportunity that's put in front of you. I'm really glad that I, applied for this job, but besides that, take opportunities like volunteering or leadership skills, not just to build up your CV. It's not just about that. It's really helpful to do that, but it's also about experiencing things, meeting new people, perhaps opening up new connections. You don't know where a job or a friend or whatever is going to come from. If you really take those opportunities that are put in front of you, you don't know where they're going to take you. So I definitely encourage any sort of opportunity to take it.
Great. Thanks so much for talking to us.